Hello!
Welcome back!
Welcome back. It's Ciconia time. We're in the other studio.
Yeah.
So if there's any technical difficulties, blame Magus.
Blame me?
Yeah.
I think you mean blame Magic? Blame Magic.
And Jacrano.
That's the one. Jacrano. Magic and Jacrano. They're the ones to blame today. Magus and Jacrano are totally fine. Why do you keep calling me? I've noticed you've had a tendency to call me Magus recently, and I don't know what that is.
I switch it up all the time.
I don't feel like you've done it as consistently. Like, I feel like over the last couple of recordings of Higurashi and Ciconia, you've just been like, Magus.
Maybe.
Weird. Even off camera, you've been saying Magus. Why is that?
That's right. I'll switch it up. I'll start doing
Make it
my goose.
Magus. No, not my goose. I don't need no spruce goose. I need a fly. I need a fly around the sky.
Your funeral.
Anyway, I will mention, we mentioned a little bit about checking out those character biographies. I believe our plan is to read those after Chapter 7 as a little special bonus episode to be broadcast to all you nerds.
We'll see. It'll probably be a regular episode because we have to start doing discussion
Yes,
after Chapter
exactly.
7. So it'll be a regular episode.
It's a super special episode.
in the fashion of...
Goddamn.
Listen, I don't want to oversell.
You have to. It's basically a tip. It's basically a Ciconia tip episode. It's going to be great.
Do we have any
crazy.
tips yet? We haven't actually
No,
looked.
we're not going to get any of those until the end of the game. So
Oh, really?
don't-
The end?
Yes.
Nuts.
And we'll talk about that when we get there.
All right.
Because some people are not happy, including me.
I just realized that the game is still coming through our mic feed. Let's switch that off.
Everything's good now.
The three kings have decided. We command the lords prepare for the harvest festival.
Says the King of Fury.
Yeah, I don't want to do the voice modulation because it takes a really
It's
long
also
time
my
to
line.
render.
You saw my line
I
and my
know.
modulator. The Harvest Festival begins. There we go.
The clock ticks further forward.
It only moves a very tiny space, I'll be honest. It's not nearly as dramatic as like other certain properties. It's
I don't
fine.
know what you're talking about.
We're getting there. Look, clocks are great.
I suppose they are.
When they hit midnight, that's the fun part.
And we're back in the bathhouse.
We're in the It's a Wrap public bath.
Let's go.
Well, I know I shouldn't have done that. I texted him to say I was sorry, but he read it and ignored it.
That's too bad. Even if he ignores them, you should keep texting that you're sorry.
Yeah. You gotta let him know. You can't let him leave you on scene and nothing else.
Good advice, good
That's
advice.
the one.
An apology doesn't end when it is made. It ends when the one you're apologizing to forgives you.
I'm getting some real short-term flashbacks right now.
Don't worry about it.
Is that how it works? Wouldn't it be better to leave him be and give him some time to think? This time I agree with them. If you get angry and start ignoring him, things like this just tend to get worse.
Relationships are such a pain, huh? Life should be lived moment by moment, but you keep getting stuck on things and it screws everything up. Well, even if Jayden does apologize for taking a joke too far, that's not the real problem here, is it?
Yeah.
True. Jayden, you aren't a CPP, congenital parallel processor, right?
I'll believe it when I see official confirmation.
Or
Quite a few CPPs dislike it when people get confused while interacting with their multiple personalities. Are there any congenitals, CPPs here now?
let's find out.
I don't think you want to be asking that. Not everyone who's come out has enjoyed the experience. Single personalities are a majority in the world at large, but they're a minority among Gauntlet Knights. Well, it just means you've got to treat people differently here. Anyway, you hear this a lot in the world of CPPs. Someone falls in love with one personality and the other personality starts to hate them.
In the world of single personalities, there's no end of cases where one person notices that their partner has an unexpected side to them, which changes their impression of them. Nothing is more sure in the world of romance manga and romance novels that incidents like these will lead to the development of romantic feelings.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, dude. However, that only applies when said partner is a single personality.
To them, a different personality is the same as a different person, so when you take their impression of one and force it on the other, they despise it. I get it. If a guy in my class sucked at basketball, and somebody said I must suck too because I was in his class, it'd piss me off.
It's a really strange example to pick, but also
It's perfect.
like kind of really nicely used.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Meow's meow. Meow is meow, okay?
God damn it, Miyao.
Perhaps you developed romantic feelings for Miyao, and subconsciously started treating Miyao as a member of the opposite sex.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. If you just calmly analyze it like that, it makes me want to find a hole to crawl into.
Jayden sank up to his head in the bath. It was just a virtual bath in a virtual room, so he wouldn't suffocate or anything. But right then, he was so embarrassed that he didn't want his male friends to see his face.
There's no need to be embarrassed. We're soldiers after all. We may be servants to world peace, but fundamentally we're in a job where we might lose our lives at any time.
Damn.
I don't think it's a bad idea to experience love while you have the chance.
It's a very practical approach. I like it. Shout to Ishak.
In the end, this is all because I didn't understand anything. It's my fault.
At the same time, in the open-air bath of the same virtual room, the Gauntlet girls had gathered. The topic of discussion here was the same as the boys.
I understand how you feel, but he didn't know. If you get too angry, I'd feel sorry for him. That's right. If you talk to him so harshly, it's just too sad for Jayden. The way his attitude suddenly changed was seriously creepy. We were partners, okay? I trusted him because we were supposed to put our lives in each other's hands. And then he suddenly starts treating me like a girl. It was a shock and it made me so sad. I thought we loved each other like family in the best way possible. I believe we had a trusting relationship that went beyond things like gender, and then he suddenly starts acting like that.
Wow. Please, have more faith in your partner, in Jayden.
That's just the sort of creature boys are, suddenly changing when they realize someone's a girl.
Wow.
From now on, he might be like a fox staring down a hen house.
Called out, Jayden.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Miao's a girl, but Miyao isn't. This is clearly a case of identity confusion, a human rights violation. We should definitely shoot him.
This is probably because he wasn't properly educated about CPPs. As long as CPPs continue to hide instead of furthering understanding in the world at large, this sort of thing will continue to happen. That's all there is to it. But if they do come out, they simply take on a social risk without any benefits.
I've ordered my attendants to make sure Jayden fully understands what's going on here. Now that he knows, if he ever does the same thing again, I'll see to it that he's shot in the head. Probably punished.
Hey, don't do something so ominous to Jayden. Ominous is the right word.
Yeah, that's the one. Ominous sense of crisis. That's the one.
I'm sure Jayden will understand. Wow.
It's not like I want him to understand me or anything.
Baka?
I was just so horrified.
Baka?
You're horrified that someone thinks of you as a woman. My. So now you're making statements that are prejudiced against women, huh?
Oh no.
People only say Big Brother's thin like a woman because he doesn't exercise much.
It's a complicated issue.
It's not like that. If I exercised and bulked up, then you'd be pissed because our body wouldn't look like a girl.
Wow. It's like watching your left and your right hand's fighting.
I never said that. You're only thin because you don't exercise. But I'm short and my arms are short, so even if I finally started exercising, all the buff guys would just make fun of me and, See, you don't exercise because of your own reasons. Don't use me as an excuse for not doing it. I hate you, Big Brother.
Yeah, Miyao.
I can't believe this.
Get wrecked.
What the hell? Damn it. You want to have a go?
Miao's right and left arms started pinching their cheeks and pulling their hair like a single person pantomiming a fight.
In other words, the source of their fight wasn't just identity confusion. It was Miao's own inferiority complex about his body.
I can get behind that. Okay with that.
Nice analysis. I can propose a perfect way to resolve this.
Cut him in half.
Learn how to do a French accent.
That too. Good luck.
I'm not going to be able to do it before we hit chapter 7.
That's right.
Waste of my time.
Well, after chapter 7 is when it gets good.
Listen, I'm not gonna do it. But I've spent so many hours. I used to have a really good French accent. I've spent so many hours over the past 2 weeks trying to fucking sort it out. And it just ends up just switching to like shit English.
I mean, that's 90% of all voices end up in like British of some sort. So you just have to speak like this. This is how we do the French accent. There we go. It is how we do it. Yes, my friend.
But the thing is I can do the like shitty, like that French accent.
The French Egyptian accent, yes.
Yeah, because like, you know, that's a bit of a meme and it uses a male voice. But trying to do a female character.
Female voice? Yeah, no.
I'm trying to like, just.
Good luck.
Just kill me.
No, I refuse. Then I wouldn't have anyone to do the show with.
But then we'd have a murder mystery and you could do a new show about it.
I'd make billions. Somebody get on this with me. Let's go.
Wait, are you trying to say we're both at fault here? Dude,
No.
That's next level. I've
Damn.
never heard such thinking before. This isn't Jayden's fault, it's all yours. All you have to do is stop saying things like that, calm down, and show him how to interact with CPPs.
Yeah,
Stupid big brother, you weak, skinny pipsqueak.
get him. Mocking the physical characteristics of someone whose body you share may be a dubious tactic. At any rate, they managed to get Miyo's side of the story. The girls pass the message on to the guys talking to Jayden with a mental text.
Wow, privacy
There's
out the window.
There's no privacy in this bathhouse. Apparently, this group had almost finished getting Jayden's side of the story. Everyone admonished Jayden, making him understand how rude identity confusion was to CPPs. Right now, the impact of Miyo's "you're creeping me out" was sinking in, and he was being wrapped in a fierce self-hatred. Here we go, self-hating Jayden.
It's not like you to let it get you down like this.
I'm not petty, I swear. Ugh. Miyao went too far as well. If he doesn't like being called weak, all he has to do is train on his own. The fact that he was so horrified just because he thought someone was treating him like a woman is pathetic for someone who is technically a Japanese boy.
By the way, that's the voice I was trying to do for that heckin' nerd. That is gonna be the voice that gets me. Momotake's voice is
Yeah.
all over the place.
If you're so worried about his body, you should just train him up good at the gym or something. It sounds like he wants to be treated like a man, so whip him into shape.
We should go to the gym. Let's do it.
If that's what he wants, then sure, I won't hold back. I just discussed this with Naomi, and we agreed that a male bonding ceremony would be the best way for you two to make up.
Nice. Go sweat together as men. It's the best way to make up.
What do you mean, male bonding ceremony? In old Japanese manga, men who had grown distant would always resolve their problems like this.
We about to have a fucking sumo match?
Here we go. We can advise you in this virtual room, but our bodies are far away. We can't help you directly. So, we're going to get a trustworthy friend, Gunhild, to set the stage. Huh? You're bringing Gunhild into this? I'd rather not tell the others in the AOU if I can help it. Don't worry. She understands you two far better than you know.
Oh, that's ominous.
Ominous as shit.
I just texted her. Don't worry about it. She already knows all of the details. She knows your thoughts before you think them. Now, you only need to obey her instructions to the letter without deviating. Okay.
God damn it, Gunhild. He wasn't quite satisfied with this, but a text from Gunhild came almost immediately.
Yeah, that's some real suspicious shit.
Nah, it's not suspicious at all.
What do you mean this isn't suspicious
I know what
at
you're
all?
talking about. Gunhild is a good girl, not suspicious, definitely not a mole. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Oh, you've received a message, boyo.
This is Gunhild. I ask that Miyao and Jayden gather here immediately. Gather where?
That's his thing. It's like slightly purple.
Oh, you're right. It is a little bit purple.
Oh, gather where? There was a blip on the map screen.
Is it purple? Are you sure that's not just the color of his hair? You know, it doesn't
No,
matter.
it might actually just be because of the viewing angle on this screen.
Yeah,
It's
we're both
fucking
looking at
shit.
it. We're both looking at it from like the side across the desk. It's great. It's a challenge that we're overcoming together.
Yes.
This is our male bonding ceremony. Isn't that?
Isn't that?
Isn't that what on the map screen?
I don't really get it, but I'll head on over. Everyone, thanks for hearing me out.
Meow.
Don't worry about it, young man. Life seems long, but it's shorter than you think.
Uh-huh.
That's also ominous. Enjoy your ignorant youth to the fullest.
Nope. Andre and Gunhild, moles.
Everyone's a mole. That's my current prevailing theory.
Jayden is exit the room. Woo! There we go. Off we go. A short while after Jayden left, the girls who had been listening to Miyao and Meow joined them.
This will probably get their feelings back on the right track.
Cases that can't be healed with medicine really make your back ache.
When friends make up, they become even better friends. Wow.
I hope they do.
Wow.
Miyao really does love his partner, doesn't he? I suppose it's that trust that lets them fight the way they do. I've known it ever since the Battle Standard Festival.
Well, when it comes to bonds of trust, we of Bathhouse Squad are in no way inferior, princess.
I don't believe that for a second. Momotake, I guess you'll never give in on that point.
What?
Okay then, I'll leave too and look after the two ladies from Supana. They're both so serious they'll suffocate if I don't tease them.
Oh, God. We shall leave too. Come now, back to training.
Our next mock enemy is AOU America's Atlantic Fleet.
Whoa, Princess, that's a bit harsh. 5 seconds after we helped Jayden of AOU America sort out his personal issues? Come on. You just know those AOU are trading for an assault on the Atlantis Spirit Field? I'd guess the ABN's doing an assault on Algiers, and COU's doing a mine blockade in the Mozambique Channel. I nearly said Chanel.
The Mozambique Chanel? Yeah, I've been to that.
It has a nice flow to it.
Mm.
My, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, pardon me while I go memorize the map to Central Harbor layout.
Damn. All's fair in love and war.
We also undergo training using other factions as mock enemies. It's only natural that the same thing happens in reverse. We're all doing it.
Mm.
Even though we're all comrades who love the sky, and even though we do this job for the sake of peace, we're still soldiers. Understanding why it's like that doesn't make it any less tough. The walls of peace are heavy. We all have to get stronger if we're going to support them from both sides.
Support them walls of peace, boys.
Yeah.
The walls of peace.
Support these
I love
changing
the walls.
accents
The
as
walls.
I forget which character had which one.
The walls of exchanging accents.
Yes.
There you go. Of course, when two combatants raise their swords at each other, it's essential that both sides have properly honed their skills. That sort of determination is essential both for military might and for comrades supporting the walls of peace. Indeed, remaining attentive and not slacking off in your training is the best way for warriors to show respect for each other.
Correct. Nothing would humiliate me more than hearing the COU wasn't even worth training against.
Damn.
That was definitely more African than it was intended to be,
It's
that
all
last
good.
bit of the sentence.
It's alright. You gotta be Africans every now
I
and
gotta
then.
just swap these voices, because now the Chinese woman's ended up with the African accent. It's a
Look,
fucking
the French girl is
dumpster
gonna
fire.
be from Iraq.
It is a dumpster
It's okay.
fire over
Look,
here.
Here's the thing. We blame Ryukishi for this. We blame Ryukishi for putting freaking 24 characters in here. Just like, sure. And only give them one line each. There's no time to get into character when they have one line.
Anyone know
Ryukishi.
a good dialect coach they could hit us up with?
That's a great question. We have no money to pay him or her or them.
We can
But
pay them. It's just not with the show budget. It's just we'll have to starve for a few days.
we'll have to pay them in food
Yeah,
and favors. Hey, that's enough talking about scary things. Whoa.
I agree. That is enough talking
Let's
about
move
scary
on.
things.
Let's get out of here. I should go 2 lines in a row. I'm excited. In the It's a Wrap public bath, we all swore with Miyao that we'd be friends. So stop saying scary stuff. Wow. Oh, you're right. You're right, Naima. That public bath oath is the most important one we've made, and it binds everyone here together.
For now, let's put aside affiliations and factions and pray that our friends Miyao and Jayden make up okay.
Yeah. Pair of love.
Yes, and let's be glad that we were able to help. Okay, then we'll just head back to that mine-laying simulation in the whatever channel. See you later, everyone.
Damn it, Aisha. One by one, they all vanished from the room. And then there were none.
Oh,
Pause for effect.
Pause for effect. Pause for a fucking effect, you.
At least there's no poems lying around or lullabies or, riddles. None of that happened.
Also, shout out to Witch Hunt for actually translating that presumably exactly as was intended.
I assume that they went to Ryukishi, were like, are you sure you want to put this in? And Ryukishi, cackled and stroked his cat, his hairless cat that he's got on the desk. He was like, yes, Witch Hunt, do my bidding. And then there were none indeed. That's that's how he talks.
I
Apparently.
completely agree. If he appears in the story, that's the accent you're giving him.
Look, I should just go for Tim Curry for him. I was reading that.
Oh, did we
Nope,
not finish
I didn't
that
finish
page?
it. I just
That's all right.
said
We
that
read
we're
the
done.
important part of the line.
There was no one left in the bath, is what it said. Oh, we were so caught up in the comedy of the moment. Oh, it's scary. Scary moment.
What is going on here? Whoa!
Oh! Yeah!
Why?
Oh, my favorite episode.
Ryukishi.
Second favorite. So here's Blue Meow. Blue Meow, I guess. Blue Meow. He's blue now.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Using the same shit that Via Doisik had down in the underground vault or whatever.
But yet, supposedly, the people in the underground vault weren't affiliated with the kings, so the
Yes.
moles that the kings sent can't be these people,
This
which
must
means
be
that
separate. Probably.
must be separate. There's
Probably.
no possible
unless
way.
they're working all together and it's some kind of conspiracy.
Or
headed up
unless
by
both
some
sides have
some
moles,
short
and it's going to end
lady.
up being that we have a fuckload of moles all fighting against each other on the inside.
Possible. What if Via's working with the Three Kings? Then what?
I mean, we've already thrown that idea in,
I know we have, but I wanted to bring it up because it's relevant.
I don't know. I think there's something a bit more fun about having the two different factions having opposing moles, because then like the game is like, are you the double agent? No, you're the double agent.
I'm the
We're
triple
both
agent.
double agents.
Yeah, exactly. We're both double agent. We're on the same
You're
side.
totally right. If that's what it is, there's going to be someone who's a triple agent.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
I hope it's Gunhild. Anyway.
Me too.
Look.
Wait, why do I hope that? I just agreed with you for no
Here's the-
reason. Why do you think that?
I think it's going to be, look, I hope it's Gunhild because she's the only character in the core trio that like doesn't have anything really going on right now. And I feel like if we're going to give her like a big reveal, like that's like, there's got to be something huge going on there. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Because like Miyao and Jayden had their like love thing. Gunhild's just like, here's a text. I'm the support character, whatever. Like she's gonna have something crazy going on.
I don't know.
I hope she's the triple agent.
I think it'd actually probably be the most fun for Jayden to be the triple agent. And that's the whole thing about him having the CPP friend that he mistreated, is that like...
That was actually him?
Yeah, no, that's what I was
shit.
saying last episode, is that like, if it was his multiple personalities and he's forgotten them because they're still in his head as the moles for both factions,
That'd be pretty good,
that's
actually.
fucked.
I'd be into that. Anyway, you have a line to read.
I do. You're wondering about how I look?
Yes.
It was getting confusing, so I sort of had this made to match my tastes. Think it looks good on me? Well, I really couldn't care less. What do you think? All that matters is whether I like it or not.
He's such a dick.
Still, this really is a strange era. After all, you're all soldiers, right? Your job is to defeat your opponents in war, right? Even if you try cover it up with all this talk about supporting the walls of peace together and being servants of international peace, defeating enemies is a soldier's job. They probably all believe that even if war does break out, they'll be able to handle it neatly thanks to this sportsmanship. However, the cost of that foolishness will soon be paid at a higher price than you've ever imagined. There's no way that'll happen. We're all friends. We swore that to each other. Even if a conflict erupts, we definitely won't kill each other. You act like this nonsense is a prediction, but none of it will ever happen. This is probably a misunderstanding peculiar to Japanese.
Those symbols.
Yogen and Yogen are both pronounced Yogen, but their meaning is entirely different. Do you know what the difference is? I don't want to talk to you. Disappear. Well, I don't really care whether you ask or not. I'm talking because I want to. So, about the difference between Yogen and Yogen. Yogen means what you think it does. I don't know what it fucking means.
Yogen. It means Yogen.
It's making a prediction about the future and telling someone about it. That prediction might be right or it might not. But the other way is different. Yogen means prophecy, receiving words from God. God is omnipotent and allows everything about the future, so the words of God are a promise about the future. When you receive those words from God and speak them, it becomes Yogen, a prophecy. My words are a prophecy. They're an announcement about a promised future. Doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. No matter what happens, everything will turn out the way I said. Right now, the world is still moving slowly. It may not look like the sort of environment a war could break out in, but behind this stage where you innocently play being friends, the world is slowly preparing to become a place where people hate each other. Who? Who would do something like that? Do you know about the Three Kings? They're the old people who claim to be the guides of humanity across the globe. Their ultimate goal is to get the whole world to fight at once and then destroy everything by their own hands. For that reason, those old people have already made extensive preparations, and very soon it will become real. When that happens, all this pretending to be friends for the sake of international peace will be over. All those people who look like they were giving advice about romance or something just now will be torn apart from each other in a bloody fight to the death. They'll experience anger and sadness, countless negative emotions, and pathetically kill each other.
Well, that sound like fun.
We won't. We definitely won't. We'll never kill each other. How the hell could we? Very, very soon, hell will come to this earth. I'll never believe in a hell like that. I'll prevent it. I'll put a stop to it. I'll avoid it. No matter what, I'll definitely avoid that hell, that fate.
Certainly.
It's an interesting choice of word. Listen, my adorable Miyao. Your highest priority goal is to stop this hell before it happens using any means necessary. The only way to succeed in that is to kill them. You must find them and kill them. This doesn't seem like the same internal monologue, does it?
Yeah, maybe. Stick with it for now.
You must find them and kill them. You may do whatever is necessary to accomplish that, no matter whom you have to kill or what you have to break. There's no need to hold back. Kill them. That's the only way to avoid that hell. Kill the three kings. Kill them. What the fuck just happened?
Nothing happened. I'm having thoughts though. Don't worry about it.
I'm so confused.
So what happened there? Evil Miyao, Blue Miyao, Miyao Alta, whatever we're calling them. I don't think we have like an established name yet.
I haven't heard anything from anyone.
Oh no, I haven't heard much from anyone. Just all sorts of bullshit. But point is, Yogan and Yogan, the difference between like something you say will should happen, and something that like will happen with certainty or something. Just like pick a random word. So that's fun. That's terrifying. And
So
yeah,
that does kind of make sense going back to the like two opposing factions thing that we were saying just before that scene. Like the idea that, those blue gauntlet knights are meant to kill the kings because they're an opposing faction.
for sure.
But it also did give me the thought there at the end that the three kings are actually just the internal evil monologue of three of the other gauntlet knights.
Maybe.
And that the idea is that they're all hunting each other down to kill each other to kick off what it seems the kings are planning.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like super sold on that theory, but I like it. I definitely think that my head is leaning towards the three kings being like in the VR space. Like that was something that I was kind of tossing around when I was first reading through, and I definitely think I'm like on board with that.
Yeah.
I think that the three kings are characters either we have met or will meet. Like
I absolutely agree.
in phase 1, probably. I just figure out who it is a little bit tricky, of course.
Going back to our rules of conventional, detective mystery fiction, of course, the culprit must be introduced in the early part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ryushi has said that this isn't quite the same kind of game he usually plays, but I would expect most, if not all, of the three kings to be introduced somewhere in this phase. And I mean, we have had...
Well, yeah, I mean, Ryushi is clearly playing very differently, but playing differently doesn't mean that he's not playing fair.
Sure. Because, I mean, as you say, it could be like three of the Gauntlet Knights moles. It could also be, we've had three adult characters introduced already. We've had Seshat, Toujirou, and Okinogi. I don't know if those are necessarily our three kings, but we have like other characters to pull from.
Yeah, I mean, like the obvious one there is that it's Seshat, Toujirou, Okinogi, and Gestress is Vier.
Yeah, for sure. That is absolutely what I'm thinking, but I
like,
feel like that's way too simple. Also, I don't know that I buy Okinogi being a king, just on the basis of his character being so memeable. Yeah, I don't know. I would definitely buy Seshat and Toujirou being two of the kings, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. I feel like that's too straightforward. I feel like that's just like too much. I feel like the Gauntlet Knights, like if Jayden was a king, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, I had a discussion in the comments on the very first video about this, or the first video the Kings appeared in about this.
Yeah.
That, like, if it is such a simple solution, what's the point of disguising them in the first place?
For sure,
like,
for sure.
If it's that out in the open, what's the point?
What's the point?
There's got to be something, like, a little bit more going on there, because, like, with Ryukishi's statements about it being, this is just, you're not playing the game this time.
Sure.
I that would be like an easy way out, but that wouldn't seem to be useful if that was true.
Yeah. I mean, Ryushi's clearly still obfuscating things and like trying to, like as any writer does, he's trying to keep plot points hidden so he can reveal them later.
Yeah.
And he's trying to keep in mind the idea that most of his audience is going to want to figure things out as they go, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if he's not playing a murder mystery game with us, he still knows that the audience has that expectation from him. So to completely throw that out is kind of silly.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that was obviously very clear there was Leah appearing straight after.
Yes.
Like,
that is a bit weird.
That's the kind of thing where, like, the obvious implication, if you were to just throw a dartboard at it, would be that, like, Leah is creating that illusion for
Sure.
Mio.
Yeah.
And that, given the Yellow.Chavez, this is Yellow.Chavez.
Yeah, it's Yellow Shabbat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given Yellow.Chavez role as like performers
The
and
propaganda.
the propaganda,
Yes.
that totally makes sense.
Or like religion, propaganda, love nerds. Yeah.
But also, is that again maybe a little too straightforward?
Yeah. I wonder if, even if it's not that Leah is a king, she's like working for them. I mean, the other thing that I've been throwing around, I think maybe in that same comment chain, was that maybe the three kings do not correlate directly to one person. Like each, like maybe it's like these three kings are the different sides of one character, if that makes sense. Like it's just all an illusion. Like the gestress is like, oh yeah, there are these three kings. We're like hanging out, and they're three people. I don't know who they are. They're clearly important people, but it's just like, Jayden with his three personalities, they're like talking with each other. Like, yes, we are in control of the Three Kings Society or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the whole question of the discussion about the granddaughter with the Three Kings when they first appeared is obviously meant to be a curveball in there.
Yeah. Like, who is their granddaughter? Is it someone we know?
Because, like, Veer and Toujirou and Seshat, we don't really know their age, so they're kind of up in the air, and probably the most likely candidates there. Okanogi, I don't know if he seems old enough to...
I mean, he's a boomer. Like,
I mean,
let's not
but
beat
he's
around the
also like
bush.
we explicitly had him framed against the general in the opening scene.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the other character we hadn't really brought up is that general.
The general, the character with no eyes.
Yeah, the character with no eyes who also for some reason got a sprite, even though
I wouldn't put too much stock into that. The fact these characters have sprites. That guy, like, he has a sprite with no eyes. I wouldn't worry.
I'm
Like,
not.
he
I'm
doesn't
not
have a name or
particularly
anything,
worried either, but it's still like
It's interesting that that Rikushi bothered to like make a sprite for him.
because he's normally very selective about it.
He is, though he does have a budget this time,
That's true.
which is always good.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right,
When love is on your side, Agent Haida, no barrier.
neither nationality nor race can stand between a couple. Even religion and gender can't tear apart two people who love each other.
We'll support any kind of love.
Yeah, we're the ultimate cheerleaders for all couples in love. Yellow shove it. Bring the heat. We're here.
So, where are they? Where are the AOU pretty boys who awaken to love between men?
It's a great question. Now that we're here to support you, have no fear. Our 550mm torpedoes will burst through all barriers to love. Searching for the target. Oh? Forget the target. There isn't anyone here at all.
We never stand idle in a place lacking love.
We're the Comet Girls, Yellow.Shove it. Resuming search for love, Yellow.Shove it. Bring in the heat. Yeah.
I sure do love propaganda.
Leah, Fatma, and Stefania have left the room. The number of participants in Virtual Room It's a Rat Public Bath is now 0. Entering sleep mode. Leo.
I guess that's kind of a relevant point that the room enters sleep mode when no one's there.
So you can, if it doesn't enter sleep mode, maybe someone's already in there.
Yeah.
Someone's like pretending to be a pot plant.
They're all going to die.
I'll kill them in my pot plant form.
If you want to avoid this hell, you have to kill them.
Who?
Or if that's impossible, yourself.
Ominous.
Very, very ominous.
Very ominous. Boom, bang, crash. Hey, what's wrong, Mio-chan? Is that all? Gonna go to bed like a little girl? Wow, that's sexist, okay?
Shut up! I'm a man!
That's all right. Thwack! Thwack! Bam, bam, bam! The two of them were in the training room ring, punching each other while wearing gloves and headgear. Apparently, they'd been at it for a while. Both of them were covered in sweat. Very manly. I see. Like Stan said, the best way for boys to restore their friendship is a good dash of fatigue and the release of their fine instincts.
Don't underestimate me just because I'm short! You asshole!
Ah, damn it! My gloves are too heavy. Isn't this too much of a handicap?
If you start losing, are you gonna blame your gloves? Even your excuses are super genius class.
Got him! Ah, damn it! This tiny brat's so full of himself. Okay, I really will punch you. Beat the crap out of you. Yeah!
Stop it, Jayden.
Huh? Meow!
Gotcha.
Well, that's fucking dirty. Bang!
That is fighting dirty.
It's very dirty. Across counter, It would have been if Mio's arm were a bit longer.
Oh, there we go again.
Jayden's left straight. That was.
What is this
reference
bias
to the
against
past.
short people?
Short people are
How
just
tall is Ryukishi?
clearly inferior to Ryukishi. He just towers over us. He towers over us with these giant metal boots. What is happening? Why is he a
He's
supervillain
like
now?
20 feet tall. He's got like giant metal arms with cannons
Yes.
at the end of them.
Yes, and he has a little
He
cat.
is the
He's got a
proto
little-
Gauntlet Knight.
He's got a little like seat on his back that his cat sits in, and that's how he like walks around. Jayden's left straight had beautifully lined up on Mio's face, but as usual, Mio's right straight hadn't been long enough to reach. With a thunk, Mio fell spread eagle to the ground.
Ugh, damn it. Give me a saw, a chainsaw, cut this right arm off, turn it into a rocket fist.
That'd be awesome! Fucking do it! I'm not gonna fall for that, Mio. I've already memorized the difference between how you and Miyao talk.
Oh, really? I'm so happy for you. Picks nose.
What? If you're that worried about your flimsy body, I'll train you like they do in the Navy. Don't start crying, okay?
And if Meow starts crying from the muscle pain, how are you going to take responsibility?
I'll gently massage it until she gets better. But I won't do it for you, Mio. You can go rub indomethacin lotion on it all by your lonely self.
Damn it. I'll train like hell. I'll definitely protect Meow from beasts like you. Jane's your partner, isn't he? How dare you call him a beast? There's no point treating this kind of dumbass like a human.
Wow.
How can you say that about the partner who's done so much for you? You stupid brother, you big dummy. Don't bench me. Jane, keep training big brother, okay? The truth is, he's feeling a bit relieved right now, and he's grateful.
Sure thing. Leave it to me. I dedicate this victory to you, Meow.
Thanks.
Damn right. There's Japan for you. I never thought I'd see a romantic comedy comic strip from the 20th century play out in real life. I'm jealous.
A romantic...
Dun, 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 dun,
I was going to
dun,
continue
dun.
commenting, but
Dun,
now
dun,
we're just
dun,
in
dun,
Waikiki.
dun, 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 dun. This is you! You're the cheery man. I hope you're ready to be the cheery
I
man.
thought the shot from the other direction is Waikiki, but I don't recognize it this direction. Where is this?
I don't know.
Tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments. Tell us where this is from.
Hey, senor! Toujirou, how have you been?
Oh, this is beautiful. Well, you're enthusiastic, as I'd expect from a Latin American country. Someone might think we've been close friends for a decade.
I didn't think I'd ever see you alive again.
This was Leto, Brazil.
That's suspicious.
Where everybody laughs all the time and it's always cheery. In the A3W world, anyone picturing a resort would think of Latin America. Latin America had managed to preserve the most beautiful of environments and air quality, as well as gorgeous vistas, making it a vacation destination for VIPs across the world. It would be no exaggeration to say that spending the rest of one's life in a high-class Latin American resort was the ultimate goal of many.
This track is like so
so good.
shit, but
You
that's
kidding me?
also the
it's
best
amazing.
part.
No, I love it.
It's
I will not hear you say bad things about this
Oh.
track. It's perfect.
It's so criminally cheesy.
Yes, that's why it's so good. Get a life. It's best track, hands down. The countries on the South American continent, which was the only one that had spirit fields of high purity rare spiridium, were considered the most prosperous in the world, though. They were Paradise Nations, our fifth faction, which managed to maintain favorable relations with all factions in a world where the other four factions were always quarreling, because they're the best. And Leto is the best faction, and they have the most spiridium and the cutest girls, and Toujirou for some reason is here. And that's what's going to happen. At a glance, it was hard to imagine what connection there might be between Toujirou, who was well-dressed despite this heat, and pulling a wheeled bag behind him, and this man, who looked like he lived every day to the fullest in casual clothes. The pair entered the lobby of the high-class hotel, where the cheery man was staying and relaxed on an expensive sofa.
Toujirou, you should quit your business and come over to Leto. It's great here, just heavenly.
Sadly, I don't have the kind of vast wealth you need to apply for immigration into Leto.
Just go make friends with the big-breasted, big-ass girls on that beach over there. If you marry into their family, that'll get your citizenship. All Leto girls dream of falling in love with foreign billionaires.
There you go. That explains all those strangely appraising looks I got on the beach. They've got good eyes. One look at the material of my clothes and they knew I wasn't rich enough to be worth talking to.
You really are a hoot, Toujirou. And then it was sunset.
Da, 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 da. Oh, the music's gone. Now we're like a sleazy bar.
Goodness.
It's amazing.
Yes, this track.
I love this location. Ryukishi, your music is perfect. Who's the artist who's doing these tracks for Leto? I need to know. Somebody tell us in the comments. The hotel bar was filled with relaxed Latin music that would satisfy the heart of a hard-boiled man
That's
detective.
true, it is.
A hard-boiled detective. After the two men brought their glasses together, they silently enjoyed the atmosphere and their drinks for a while. In an era where you could say things with your brain, it was customary to refrain from speaking anything but your orders in places where silence was treasured, if not golden. So each of the guests experienced the place in their own ways, and they were able to enjoy their conversations without interfering with anyone. So, were you able to play that musical score?
That was one hell of a score you found. I doubt there are even 5 people in the world who could perform that.
Then I'm glad one of those 5 people owes me a favor. After all, a score is just a piece of paper if no one can perform it. You've received 13 data items, playo!
Still, where on earth did you find this? These are 8MS blueprints. Each one was an environmental 8MS blueprint maintained by nationally supported businesses from various countries.
Those sound important.
Now showing a preview of 13 items, playo! So it seems.
Only a few organizations manage 8MS blueprints, and they're all supposed to be government-supported and tightly controlled by their countries. How did you get these?
Who knows? It's a business secret.
8MS, also called AMIS. Its official name was the 8 Million System. It was a system of environmental nanomachines developed by the Yaoyorozu nanotech firm in B3W, Japan. The 8MS had self-replicated repeatedly, eventually filling the atmosphere all over the planet. This groundbreaking system was capable of doing all sorts of things when instructed. It was almost like an OS that had been installed into the environment itself. Its uses included communication, obviously, but also purification of the air and water, reduction of ultraviolet rays, medical applications, and eventually military applications as well. Its initial development had proceeded quickly, but scientists fearful of Grey Goo had kicked off a worldwide anti-nanomachine campaign, so it was kept from the light of day for a long time. However, when World War III ended, the world was faced with the prospect of imminent extinction. A nuclear winter had begun, starting the countdown to the world's end. The doomsday clock, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. While the political debate over its use was still ongoing, the 8MS had been distributed across the whole world, and it began purifying the atmosphere. As a result, the globe did not freeze over. The countless gods known as 8MS filled the air, raising the curtain on a new world. Just as oxygen and nitrogen had existed in the atmosphere, so too did 8MS now exist. Of course, it existed in all regions of the world, but it also existed as high as the stratosphere and as low as the bottom of the ocean. And naturally, it was inside the human body as well. Some had worried that knowledge of strange nanomachines filling everything from the atmosphere to people's bodies would trigger Humei's nanomachine allergy once again. All 3W governments hid this fact, but some scientists eventually made it public. The masses, knowing that nanomachines had been put into their bodies without their knowledge and fearing that some sort of accident or malicious act might lead to tragedy, flew into a panic. For several decades, it was used as a magic word by certain kinds of paranoids, conspiracy theorists, and newscasters, one that was used to explain all sorts of unpleasant, unknown things. However, 100 years had passed since then without anything major happening. The generation afflicted by nanomachine allergies came and went. Nanomachines infected the entire planet, and the phobia of Grey Goo turning everything else into nanomachines was now viewed as a complete joke. It was just like in the 20th century when some people thought that letting off an H-bomb would cause a chain reaction with all the hydrogen on the planet and destroy the world. That opinion was also viewed as a complete joke later on. Now, no one thought much of the fact that countless nanomachines drifted through the atmosphere and their bodies. Nanomachines aside, humanity had always coexisted with all sorts of bacteria and viruses, and so a murderous 8MS was simply added to the list of things an evil terrorist might develop in a spy novel, alongside nukes and killer viruses.
Of course, it isn't actually that simple. In the first place, developing 8MS requires cutting-edge research facilities and human resources, as well as a massive budget. Only the major countries from each faction are capable of that. And it's managed by the IPMA, and all countries observe each other's work. You couldn't possibly develop a malicious 8MS.
Well, that's true enough. Still, if that's the case, what on earth was he thinking, the guy who got his hands on this heavily compressed file?
Maybe he's a super hacker who somehow thought he could sell it for money.
So he's both a super genius, pause for effect, who can get into the super secure AMS management service, and a total moron who actually thinks he could make a profit off it.
Several AMS blueprints were shared between AMS research facilities across all the world's factions under the management of the IPMA. So, pre-existing AMS blueprints was something all factions already had. Even if this hacker retrieved it so some terrorists could start developing a malicious AMS, they wouldn't be able to get their hands on the facilities or human resources necessary for such development, making the whole thing totally pointless. Completely pointless. Though the blueprints were managed quite carefully, they weren't worth any money. It was like stealing semiconductor techniques that had already been patented. Those were already public knowledge in the semiconductor industry, and even if someone outside the industry found blueprints for those techniques, they wouldn't do them any good at home or at the dinner table.
I wonder what the guy who stole this was thinking.
Well, this is just a theory of mine, but one of the blueprints is called Artemis.
A water purification ATMS. That was a registered trademark of ACR South Africa's state-managed ATMS program.
There's also System Akura, Pal 102, and Anis Sijam.
Those are air purification ATMS from Leto, Argentina, COU Singapore, and COU Saudi Arabia.
There was a lot more, but they were all AMS blueprints related to atmospheric improvement. In other words, some mysterious terrorist wanted to take advantage of that to create some kind of environment-destroying AMS.
And then they'll use that to launch a massive attack on the world's food-producing regions, triggering a world panic? Nice. Forsyth would have loved this stuff.
Who the fuck is Forsyth?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Water and air are essential to human life. If we lose those, we're screwed. I'll bet the terrorists are jealous of Leto's beautiful paradise and are all planning to destroy it.
Especially the beaches.
But you're still talking about a dream, right? Every lab on Earth is under close observation. There doesn't exist an institution anywhere that could develop something like an environment-destroying ATMS.
Maybe. But you know, Toujirou, even if it was impossible for every lab on Earth, a secret lab beneath the Earth, pause for effect, might be a different story, right?
Huh? What are you talking about? my Kizuna translates your Portuguese weird sometimes.
I'm sorry, Toujirou. Looks like my next appointment has arrived. Mind if I include the bill from here as a part of my fee?
That explains why you were going for the expensive stuff.
Obrigado. Até logo. I don't know if that's right, but hey.
That sounded right to me.
I tried.
Até logo! Obrigado! That's it. The cheery man left the bar with the same cheeriness he'd had when he'd first appeared. Now that the energetic man was gone, Toujirou was finally able to slowly soak in the bar's atmosphere and get a nice night's rest. Excellent. Then the scent of a passionate perfume hit his nose.
All right, so before we move on, I did want to point out that rather than, like, I think the implication there when he says, oh, your thing translated it weird or whatever, was that he knows exactly what he's talking about and he's probably involved with it.
Okay.
And he's just trying to dodge the issue.
Oh, you think he's involved with Via?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because, like, if he wasn't involved, he probably would have just been like, what do you mean? Because it wasn't really that weird of a concept, right? An underground lab. Like, who's ever heard of one of those?
Yeah, what a trope that is in a spy film, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he's, like, working with Via, maybe?
He's obviously trying to dodge the issue, and I think that if he's working in that lab, or working with that lab, that is the most straightforward way to explain why he'd be dodging the question.
Interesting. He doesn't seem quite as, like, outwardly insane as the characters we've heard described in those labs.
Yeah, I mean, there's also he could be working with the Four Kings, and the guy is trying to find out whether
Four Kings?
So Three Kings. Sorry, getting my Dark Souls mixed up.
It's all right.
Yeah, like, obviously, it could be either side there, but I think that it is more plausible that he has something to do with Dreisig's lab, especially when he's obviously from that initial scene with Seshat somehow involved with the training of Gauntlet Knights, and Dreisig is obviously part of the Gauntlet Knight sphere in a broad way.
For sure. Then the scent of a passionate perfume hit his nose. An attractive Brazilian woman had sat down in the seat vacated by the cheery man. Toujirou raised his glass and winked at her.
Hi there, young lady. Would you care for a drink?
And nobody was surprised.
Yeah, Latina! Here we go.
Gladly. Now, what shall I have?
How about a milkshake? As laid back as Leto is, it's probably not a good idea to drink alcohol on the job.
By this point, she wasn't alone. Several MPs from the Leto military were with her too.
Welcome to Leto, Brazil, senor. If you had told us you were coming, we could have given you a proper welcome.
Ha! Well, now that I know there's a beauty like you here to welcome me, I'll do that next time.
His Excellency has said he wishes to invite you to dinner. Will you come with us?
Works for me. If you'll be joining us in evening dress, that is.
God, what a smooth operator.
Senor says he'll gladly come with us. Sergeant, take his baggage and see if any of his luggage has arrived at the room he was supposed to be spending the night in.
Supposed to be?
Nice. Just what I'd expect from a resort country. The service here is great.
Toujirou set his empty glass on the counter and calmly stood up. The MPs walked right next to him on either side.
Fuck, what a great scene. Like, that was strong.
That was very tight.
That was strong.
Yeah, dude. We got some exposition in there. We got some Toujirou mystery. We got Valentina showing up. The intrigue, the political intrigue is dripping from that scene. To fulfill our master's orders, we shall not hesitate to use the methods of demons, nor to stain our hands with demonic acts. The oaths of the Order of Prometheus.
I don't really think I have much more to say on that as a whole, because we kind of were discussing it as we went, but that was probably the most solid chapter we've had so far.
It was really good. No, I enjoyed that.
Oh, I'm so on board.
Yeah.
Next time,